Welcome to our tutorial for the HPV pathology clamp pipeline. The goal of this project is to use natural language processing to analyze HPV-related pathological reports. The input into the pipeline is cervical and anal pap smears and biopsies, and the output will be annotated versions of the input files and a CSV file containing a table with the important information from each input file. What you're getting in the output is the report type, the report location, the diagnosis code, which is a numerical representation of the diagnosis in text form, and the HPV diagnosis. To run the pipeline, first you'll need to download our repository from GitHub. Then in CLAMP, create your own NLP pipeline called HPV Pathology Pipeline, exactly how it's written out here. Then copy the contents of our GitHub pipeline into your CLAMP pipeline. Then add your input into CLAMP in the form of TXT files. Then run the CLAMP pipeline, and then run clamp to csv.py, which is in our GitHub repository on the CLAMP output folder. To get to the GitHub repository, go to the link on the screen. In the GitHub repository, click on the Clone or Download button and click on Download Zip. You'll get a folder that looks like this. Inside the folder will be a folder called HPV Pathology Pipeline. This is the pipeline. After you've downloaded the repository from GitHub, you'll need to come into CLAMP and make a new project. Go to File, then click on New Project, and name it HPV Pathology Pipeline, exactly how it's written out here. And then click on NLP Pipeline and Finish. Once you've created the CLAMP project, open up the downloaded repository, open up the HPV Pathology Pipeline folder, and copy these three folders and paste them into your CLAMP project. Now that the pipeline is all set up, you can add your own data into the Data Input folder. In the GitHub repository, we've included some sample input, which contains 4 de-identified reports with 1 cervical pap smear, 1 cervical biopsy, 1 anal pap smear, and 1 anal biopsy. They all contain different capitalizations and nuisance variables that the algorithm reads through. You can copy the sample input and paste it into the input folder. Then run the pipeline. When the pipeline finishes running, the output folder should have these XMI files. These files are the annotated versions of the reports from the input. Once you have this output, the final step is to run this Python script from the GitHub repository. To do that, go to the command line and navigate to where you downloaded the GitHub repository. Then use Python 3 to run clamp to csv.py and enter the exact directory of this output folder. That will create report diagnoses.csv. This file contains a structured version of the output from CLAMP, where each report corresponds to a row in the table. The table has columns for the report ID, report type, report location, diagnosis code, diagnosis, and HPV diagnosis. That is how you run the HPV pathology pipeline using CLAMP and the GitHub repository. Thank you for watching.